Hello everybody, this is What If Deku had All For One Part 19, and hope you like this one. After Zoku gets checked out by the doctor, and he has a conversation with Shinso, and sees the fact that everyone else is okay, he heads home, or on his way home, when he goes through the gates and sees his dad there with about 39 different people that are in black suits, boots, and sunglasses. And he says, "Izuku, are you okay?" And Hisashi, she looks all over Izuku and says, "Are you okay? What happened?" But I haven't gotten any information. What happened? Izuku says, we got attacked by a group called the League of Villains. Okay then. Okay. Please get in the car. And he snaps his fingers, and all the people in black suits go away. And Izuku says, "Huh?" "Izuku, don't worry. I have my quirk usement ID on me. And also the fact that quirk was called, I believe it was a combination of two, but anyway, please get in the car." And Izuku says, "Dad, why are you being so..." I just heard my son and was in the fucking nurse's office for 3 effing days. I think me and your mother," and he points and sees Inko, have the right to be concerned. Izuku gulps and says, Inko says, "Hisashi." "Yes?" "Izuku, you're not in trouble." Hisashi says, "Yeah, no shit. He ain't trouble." "Well, what?" Okay, yep, I see why." And Izuku says, "Why are we in a limo?" Hisashi says, "I've been alive as long as mortal. Do you really think I'd be broke?" Don't worry, Izuku. All of the money that I'm using is legal money. But anyway, I'm gonna have me and your mother's going to tomorrow, because even UA is going to have about 5 days where Arab students, there's no school for the students. But I'm going to just say this. I know I have a thought of what their original goal is, because I had a thought. I somewhat gave ideas to Tomura Shigaraki a while ago. And Inko says, "Wait a minute. Why did you give him your family name?" Long story short, honey, but let's just say this. Decisions made through anger and through manipulation can cause things. And yes, I know, it doesn't make you feel comfortable, Inko, I understand. But I'm semi-responsible for this. Now I need to figure out what I fucked up with, because I can't even find the League of Villains anymore because of the fucking doctor. The doctor that diagnosed Izuku, who is the only reason why the doctor did that is because The doctor is an idiot and a smart. Is an idiot and a smart ass. What do you mean? Let's just say this. I was incapacitated when you turned 4, Izuku. Well, 4 or 5-ish. But when you were in the doctor's office, I was incapacitated mostly. And the doctor, seeing the fact that there was another individual with your quirk, and I didn't, with my quirk, told you to that it was going to be a late blooming quirk. Because he was going to say something before realizing it would have been not a good idea to tell Izuku that he had a toe joint when you do not. Well, we both do. And Izuku says, I know this is not the time, but why do we have the toe joint? That's because of 2 things. For example, you and I have a gene called the quirk take and give taking gene. Basically, it works in such a way where, especially the fact that I'm a first generation quirk user, meaning you would be a second generation, meaning that first generation quirk users, the toe joint wasn't as pronounced as it is today. Yes, you could still be seeing that the toe joint was there, but was faded a little. Oh, but for me, and when I didn't get the toe test until I was in my 70s. But anyway, the reason why, I have not much of an idea, but many quirks back then had the toe joint, but quirks that people that stayed alive and had children tended to have toe joints that were smaller and smaller and smaller, and by the second and third generations, or by the second generation, and I mean by the majority second generation. What do you mean? Immortal is a second generation quirk user. Wait, he's as old as you though. We're not older than the glowing baby. That guy was born about good 15 years before we were. Well, 15 for me, 14 for him. For Immortal. But, besides that, we're home. And Izuku, I'm going... Wait, you took down the Nomu, correct? You have more of those things? Do not worry, that was a dang prototype that was made before, or the accident. And also the fact that, I'm just going to be blunt. And most of those quirks, I have enough quirks to the point where my cap is seeable. And I mostly dumped quirks into Nomu, and, well, using random quirks that cost me were a decent idea. Wait. So you didn't use any of my friends for those experiments? Maybe. I don't know completely exactly. And Enko says, what do you mean? Anyway, let's head back inside and I'll order takeout. And Izuku says, I love you, Dad. He says to himself, I love Dad, but sometimes he's a scummy person. And with Immortal, he says, okay, I'm going to be planning a few teaching conferences. Izawa His injuries are mostly in the arms because the new moon was taken down, and yeah, okay, that's going to work. And Nezu says, well, apparently I can't leave you alone without stuff happening. You cannot blame this on me, Nezu. Oh, I know. I'm just teasing you. Presume you want your job back, because apparently you think something. Well, as much as I would like to have my job back, having a somewhat vacation from being the principal of UA for 3 years is going to be interesting. And Immortal says, yeah, Mouse. Yeah, Mouse. What next? Next, are you gonna be surprised? That all for one's involved. And Nezu says, all for one? Don't worry, he apparent from what I heard from his own mouth. But, well, let's just say he's a parent of one of the students. Yeah, he's Hisashi Midori, isn't he? Nezu, I know this is one of the sore subjects between the two of us. Sore subject? He's one of the worst villains in history. And also the one person that made sure people like me and every other human being with a quirk is a free person. Because, to be blunt, there's a reason why either you-know-who people are dead. Yes, maybe back during the dark times, but after that he went rogue. Yes and no. Recently, from what I've heard from Izuku's own testimonial, or own voice, Hijashi's gotten a lot better ever since Inko Midori has gotten into his life, and I am not going to separate them. Why? He's ruined enough, and All Might and Gran Torino are right behind Nezu and says, why? All Might, you have nowhere to speak right now. Because, to be blunt, you should have been there. You should have been there. Because if you were there, that is your bloody dang job. To be there. But no, you use up your entire time limit. And All Might says, but no. During your patrol today, over 15 pros could have dealt with, over 15 to 20 pros could have dealt with the things you did with your 3 hours. And you got there right when Midoriya, dealt with the Nomu. Personally speaking, King, I'm giving an A+. I'm giving an A+ to every student, and that every student in Class 1A. Gran Torino says, why? They survived a fucking villain attack. They deserve an A+. That's for their grade for that day. Anyway, sports festival. I had to talk with the board, and yes, I am both the principal and head of the HPSC. They said that I can postpone it, but I can cancel it. And I can't even do that to the kids because these are opportunities these kids need and want. And well, let's just say this. I will call in some favors for the event. And yeah. I'll be going to be calling a decent amount of pros to stand guard, and let's just say this. I'm going to ask an old friend for a bit of help. And Immortal calls an old friend, and Hisashi Midoriya is currently helping his son and Inko cook dinner because it's a family bonding activity, because, surprisingly enough, Hisashi Midoriya is a decent cook. But he's mostly good with Japanese dishes, besides a few American staples like burgers. And he answers, "Yes, I will give you a temporary license to use your quirk if anything happens, and I'll get you 2 tickets to see a sports festival. Will you take the offer?" Immortal. Ace. Yep. And Izuku says, "Who was that, Dad?" "Oh, that was your principal asking if I would be there, and giving me and your mother free tickets and giving me a free license since to use my quirk if anything happens." And Izuku says, okay. And that is end of this episode. I know I am modifying it a bit because Immortal is the principal, not Nezu, and also the fact that I have Immortal being in a very powerful position. But this is how it's coming into my mind, and I'm not using a script. But anyway, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. In peace.